welcome everyone. My name is Bruno. I'm here with Patrick Wieland. Happy to be here. We just got back from lunch. This is a second-time client of ours. We just finished doing a 37-foot
39
39-foot CV. That's right. And the
Every
first
foot
one
matters.
That's true. What was the first one?
36 yellowfin.
36.
Yeah.
What do you
that
like
was last
more?
year, about 6 months ago actually.
Nice. Which one do you like more, the CV or the yellowfin?
I mean, it's not really the brand; it's more about the size.
Okay.
I mean, the size of the boat definitely matters. So.
Okay. No fun, right? No.
I mean.
So, Patrick's a day trader. He's got a very, very strong following. Good customer. We hope to do a lot more deals with him. And so let me ask you, Patrick, as a day trader, you mentioned to me at lunch that 90% of the people that are out there fail. Why is that?
I think it's just a human thing. Like when times get hard, people give up and they fail. There's a reason that 90% of business owners fail. Restaurants, people you go on a diet. I'd say 90% of the people that try to lose weight also fail. So I think it's just a human thing, right? Like when things get hard, it's easier to just to fail and do something else and work a normal job. But day trading, investing, it's very emotional for yourself. You got to be able to control your emotions. I'm sure you've seen deals, you're like, oh, this might be a good deal. But then when you actually look at it and you calm yourself down, you're like, nah, no, that's not a good deal for us. So it's really comes down to the emotion. The humans are obviously very emotional creatures, and it's hard for someone to look at a stock and watch it go down, and accept that they're going to lose money. I think a lot of people just are not able to accept losing money. And even in your line of business, there's days where you just you might not have to lose it, but you got to cut things off before you lose more. You got to get to that point. You're like, all right, we got to figure this out and cut it off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before you bleed out.
Yeah, that's true. For us, it may not be day because you're in a fast-paced environment. Day trading for us, it might be years.
Years, yeah.
The economy's not doing so well. Do we think it's going to pick back up, or do we think this is just downhill from here? Cut our losses and just move on. So what about strategies? I mean, you're successful in this. What strategies do you like? Is there anything specific, or you just kind of whatever comes?
I'd say the number one strategy for really anyone getting into day trading is basically just accepting the fact that you're going to probably lose. And also trying to go into it with the mindset of not how much money you're going to make, but how can you just avoid losing money, right? Because so many people, they focus on oh man, I want to make all this money, but then they get into it and they find out that it's a lot harder than they thought. And the dreams of buying $1 million yacht go out. You lose those dreams really quickly because all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm barely making money, or I'm losing money. So I would say most people that first get into trading, investing, whatever it is, the best thing to do when you first start is just trying to really just pump the brakes and try to not lose money. If you try to not lose money over a year-long period, you're probably gonna have made a little bit of money. But the guy who's just trying to make tons of money, he's gonna lose everything.
Now, did you buy stocks on the way down or on the way up?
There's different theories to it,
Yeah.
Sometimes you could buy when it's going up, and other times it's better to wait. I think if you're looking at a stock or whatever it is, something like Tesla, and you look at Tesla and you get into an Uber and the Uber driver starts talking about Tesla, it might be trouble. I always say, if the majority of people in the world are thinking stuff's going to go higher, then it's probably not. It's kind of interesting in that sense. It's almost like that herd mentality. You can kind of see when the signs start this is
all
not,
the money's in, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and it's funny because I'm sure same stuff for you guys. You see the trend and you're like, uh-oh, this is not where we want to be. We don't want to be getting in at the top of this market right now. So that's the same thing. And especially if you're an investor investing long term, if you're buying Apple when Apple's down 10% of the day, who cares? You got a discount. It's like Black Friday for you. So if you invest in quality companies, if you make good deals, you're going to be all right no matter the small fluctuation along the way. Because we all know that the market only goes up over time, and inflation.
Agreed.
It's real.
So, growing up with my dad, he always taught me, buy bargains, So for me, I've always told myself, I buy when there's a discount.
Yeah.
Right? But I want to buy good companies that are cash flowing, that they're the future. I don't want to buy junk. But I try to avoid, just because, like you said, I want to control the emotions of, the stock's doing really well. Now, I'm going to get in, but I'm already getting in after the premium, But everybody's got their strategy. I imagine you have yours. And
yeah, like I said, I literally, there's videos on my YouTube channel where I'm not a millionaire day trader. I'm a millionaire YouTuber.
And I just tell people, I'm like, it's the truth. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not hiding the fact.
So you're real with people.
Yeah, it's entertainment. You know, people watch me not because they think I'm the smartest person to day trade in the world. They watch me because they're entertained. They like the jokes. They like the show, you know? And I think that's what it comes down to with anything. If you're going to try to be an influencer, like, because
I like that. We had a guy that he's in the trucking business.
Yeah.
And he's like, listen, the only thing I do anytime I talk, I'm real with truck drivers.
Yeah.
So they say, listen, get into a truck, you're gonna make millions. No, you're not. You know, I got friends, they're some of them are doing okay, and then some of them are not even breaking even, you know? So his thing is like, I can't let my people down, because the moment that they think I'm trying to sell them some product and I'm not being real with them, then that's when they realize I can't trust this guy, you know, unsubscribe. So for you, it might be like, listen, you know, I'm not gonna tell you that if you get into this business, you're gonna become a millionaire.
I tell most people, I'm like, don't even try. Because I think that honestly is like more motivating than telling them that they're gonna get rich.
They can't
like, what do you mean that? Like, you can't do this. Like, people will ask me questions about stuff, and I'm like, if that's your question, like, just quit now, because that is not even a question that you should even ask me. You know, they ask the most basic question. I'm like, guys, type it into Google before you ask me. You know, don't waste my time with your bad questions, because that's just gonna piss me off. I'm like, nah.
Now, what do you say? Do you say I'm a successful day trader, or you're kind of?
No, I say
like,
I'm successful at just Patrick Wieland living. You know, like real money profits, like into my bank account. And like, until you withdraw it, like it ain't real. You know, until you put it in the bank account, it's just the magical numbers on the internet.
Yeah, you pull it out, that's when you earned it.
At one point, I had a cryptocurrency that I think I was up like 6 million on it. But when I went to sell it, there was nobody to buy. So it was just like, I think I ended up selling like everything I got out for like less than like 500,000, because there was no liquidity. Like, nobody was buying. It was just like, yeah, I'm up big, but like nobody wanted to buy it. So I was just like, when I started selling it.
I believe you. I mean, obviously, the last boat you bought, how much was that?
The last boat was 340. I put 200 into it, and then I sold it for 440, which is kind of just the business of it. You know, nobody walks away with money after owning a boat. No, but I feel like if you can walk away at least like with more money towards the next boat, then you're doing all right. Yeah.
So I mean, we've been talking about, you know, significant down payments in our line of business, asset-based lending. It's an expensive hobby. There's no doubt about it. So anyone that's in this business, like we talked about, a lot of money, and the sky's the limit, because nowadays you've seen the size fishing boats that are under the center consoles. I mean, there's no end to the amount of money some people are spending just for this hobby of.
Inflation is real.
Tell me about that championship you mentioned.
Yeah, so I love competition. I think being a trader, being in business, being in anything, I want to be the best I can be at it. I'm sure you feel that way with your business, you know, like you want to perform. So I love doing stuff outside of trading as well to help push myself. Like, for a while, I was really big into like big wave surfing and trying to push my limits of what I thought was possible. And that like really helps me, I feel like, in business as well, because I came from nothing. I didn't go to college. I didn't have rich parents. Like, I had nothing. I grew up in a very, like, my dad has construction business. I grew up working, you know, and I got to where I'm at because like I just really believe that it was possible. When a lot of people told me like, oh, you can't make money on YouTube, and I was like, okay.
You're one of those guys, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I want to make $1 million. I'm gonna be a millionaire from YouTube, and they're like, you can't. There's no way. And then I did it. Like, everybody I knew said there was no way. Not one person supported me like along the way. And I've been on YouTube for 7 years now. So it's like,
it's a risky.
7 years of everybody telling me I couldn't do something. And that just like motivated me more than anything. So I love the fishing side, because I started a fishing team this year. Same situation. Like, you know, everyone's like, oh, if you place in the top 10, like, you're doing a good job. I'm like, we're not here to get, you know, top 10. We're here to win. You know, we're fishing against guys like Michael Jordan. We're fishing against people that are like actual billionaires that like have full programs with people from all over the world that they're paying to, you know, go fishing, and it's all like a serious business. Like, this is not like a hobby for most people. So it gets really competitive. You know, you're fishing against Michael Jordan. I mean, this guy is the most competitive guy in the world. He's paying top dollar to have the best people fishing for him. He just won like 300 grand over the Bahamas recently. So it's fun. You just, you know, it's very alpha, very like man-on-man battle, you know, and I think you get to a certain point where it's just like, okay, what can be the next rush, the next thrill?
Yeah. Well, what is the next rush? I mean, what do you?
The next rush? Whew, probably just traveling more and just doing more stuff with the boat. We got the new boat now. We want to go to the Bahamas, you know, spend more time over in the Caribbean, kind of chasing down marlin and big fish, and just more experience for sure.
Now, you mentioned to me at lunch that this is not the kind of thing you want to scale. You know, if you're successful with 100 grand and then you do $1 million, I mean, is there a point where you do 10 million? You mentioned to me that it's kind of risky to do that.
Yeah, well, it gets to a point where you have to look at it like, okay, if I can make $10,000 a day, like how much is that per year? And then like, how much can I live on? And then you have to say like, okay, if I've got $1 million in the bank, like how can I put that to work and just basically, not lose money? Because at a certain point, like you can't trade billions of dollars unless you're, JP Morgan or something. It just gets to a point where you have to like diversify. And I think that's with anything. If you have a business, you do lawn care business, you're making good profits, like you need to invest those profits in other ways to make money, because maybe the lawn care business, I don't know, like doesn't work out in the end.
Yeah.
So diversification.
For me, the part that made a lot of sense is when you're trading small cap stocks.
Yeah.
To put $1 million in one day, and in your case, in a couple minutes,
Yeah.
but you're in and out, you're going to move the price significantly.
Exactly.
So when you buy in, you're always successful because the price is just going up as you
Yeah.
keep buying in,
Yeah, and
if I
on average, if I can make $20,000, $30,000 in a day, it's like that's a good day, It's like, do I need to be more greedy? Do I need to put on more risk? Do I need to risk everything? Do I need to put do I need to call you and say, hey, I want to put my McLaren on loan so I can get more money for trading, Like, come on. Like, at a certain point, you got to, like, kind of just hit that.
Yeah. And you've been doing this for how long?
On YouTube for 7 years. I had no idea what I was doing when I first started YouTube.
Okay.
And the trading stuff. I started with Robinhood. I had no idea. It was pretty funny to watch.
I mean, that's literally where I was going. The Robinhood characters.
Yeah.
Has it changed the dynamic that now everybody has a Robinhood account?
Uh-huh.
Or is
2020, everybody wanted to be Warren Buffett, investing in penny stocks and AMC and GameStop.
Meme stocks?
The meme stocks. Yeah, I remember when AMC went up to $70, and I put a video online. I said, guys, like, this is not going to keep going. It's a movie theater company that makes no money. They've never made money. They've only ever lost money. And everyone's like, nah, it's going to go to 1,000. I'm like, no, it's not, you crazy people. And it only has gone down since. And it was funny because everybody said I was an idiot when it was 70, and I said it was going to 0. And now it's officially like pretty much at 0 at this point.
Yeah,
so
it's bankrupt.
Well,
there was a story of, these guys wanted to stick it to these short sellers.
It became people wanted to like prove a point more than make money.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like in your line of business, there's plenty of times where like you can maybe try to prove a point, but it's like, I'm in the business of making money, not like proving points here.
Yeah.
I don't need to be. I think probably the hardest thing maybe for you to relate with is making a choice and then admitting you were wrong before it like destroys you. Because it's easy. Like you can make a huge loan and you can be like, no, guys, like it's gonna be fine, it's gonna pay. But everyone else is like, no, we're in trouble, and you're like, no, and your emotion and your pride ends up basically making you lose everything because you just can't accept that you're wrong. So
I mean, you're in the entertainment world.
Yeah.
You understand that it's different when a guy has his life savings or a big portion of his net worth in a stock or an investment. Than these guys that have $500-600 that it's entertainment for them. They're gonna have the story of a lifetime when they say, hey, I put $500 into
put $500. I was up $1,000 on it.
Yeah, exactly. I'm up 500%. That's a story you can tell your friends. Buying Warren Buffett's stock. Yeah, sure, you're up 14%.
Yeah.
But no one cares. So it's entertainment at the same time while there's investing.
Yeah.
And I know guys. I think it was Warren Buffett actually that said is that investing is not fun. The moment it becomes fun, something is wrong, because you might be caught up in the emotion and the and everything that's going on. And
well, the market is basically built for the impatient to lose money and the patient to make money. Because the impatient people will go and they'll buy a stock that's up 1,000% because they're excited because they saw it on the news or whatever. And then the patient person's like, well, I'm not buying that.
The cab driver.
It's up too high. Yeah, like gets to that point.
That's what it was in 07, 08,
Yeah. Bitcoin, same thing. When Bitcoin was going up, Bitcoin's gonna go to $1 million. I'm like, well, probably not, not right now at least. I think in the future maybe, but right now you gotta be realistic.
Betting against Bitcoin. I know I've been on the side, for it, and then I've been on the side against it. Today I don't even know where I stand on it because you keep thinking, okay, there's no value. At first it become, it's going to be a currency.
That would be an interesting question. So, a lot of people that are, pro cryptocurrency and stuff like that. Do you see actual real world use for cryptocurrency, like in the banking world? Like,
no, I mean, it started that way. That we're not going to use the dollar. We're going to use Bitcoin, and then at some point people realize it's not a currency. What it is, it's a store of value.
Yeah.
So they see it today like a gold bar,
Yeah.
Like it sits there, it's got a limited supply, and the demand only grows over time. Therefore, the price must rise.
Yeah.
You know.
I always like you like drive past like the Lambo dealerships or like high-end car dealerships. There's like a sign that we accept crypto.
Yeah.
You know, hoping some kid has got a bunch of money, comes in there, buys a new Lambo with Bitcoin.
All the new money guys, the guys that got rich incredibly fast. Now it's not happening, you know, because obviously when the Bitcoin was, you know, $500 to let's say $9,000, that's maybe a 5,000-6,000% increase.
The first Bitcoin I ever bought was about like $1,300. The first one, and then I remember it went all the way to 20, and I thought I was a genius.
I got in at 9, and then it went to 18, 20, and then it came back down to 4, which
crazy.
is when you mentioned, right? So what's the most money you've ever made in a year?
The most money that I ever made in a year as a trading YouTuber entertainer is a little over $2 million last year. And that is just purely from me entertaining people on the internet, getting people, you know, to click links and watch videos and just being out there, constantly out there. You know, it's funny because people will get mad at me for posting something like looking for attention, but I'm like, guys, like this is my business, right? Like I posted a video of the new boat and I put on like in the title of the video, it's like, here's my new $500,000 boat. And people are like, why'd you put the price tag? And I'm like, because it gets more clicks, more people look at it. They're like, wait, what's a $500,000 boat look like? A lot of people don't even know that a boat like I have is $500,000. They think like, oh, it's like $100,000. Like, well, maybe for 2 motors, you know. So it's a game, right? And I think the number one asset in 2024 is just like your following. If you have a big enough following, look at Kim Kardashian, look at all these celebrities, like they've built businesses just based on their followers. Like they've literally done it with nobody else. Like they didn't go to another brand. They're like, oh, I want to do a makeup line. Okay, my own makeup line now. Now I have a t-shirt company. And like, that's what it is. Like you get to a point where you can build a business around your name. And that's pretty much what I've done. 7 years of YouTube to build it up to this point and to grow it, you know, partnering with the right people along the way. I've had plenty of like very scammy, just like terrible companies offer me, you know, lots and lots of money over the years. And most of it, I just like, I could point out right away. I'm like, it's too good to be true. And I don't want to put that out there into the world. And, you know. Yeah.
And what's the gold standard? I mean, you got guys like Mr. Beast. This is your world, by the way, not mine. I really don't know much. I've heard the name. I mean, who's the guy that you're like, this is the guy that I'd like to be?
I don't know if I'd ever like, I don't know if I'd ever like idolize another man, to be honest. But I think Mr. Beast has done a really good job because he's always like put all of his like, all the money that they've made, they've always like put it back into the business and it's grown and they've done that the right way. You know, it's easy to start out and to make a few $1,000s with a business and then just take that money and go blow it at the bar, you know, but it's like, if you really want to grow your business, you got to keep putting that money back into the business. You got to keep growing. You got to get employees. You got to get people and grow it. So that's one thing that Mr. Beast has done really well is just
double down.
Yeah, doubling down. And like when everyone said he couldn't do it, he's like, all right, I'm going to spend $1 million to build out, you know, some crazy thing, and I'm going to film it. You know, nobody was doing that. Nobody was spending $1 million to film, you know, some YouTube video, and now they're doing it. Like they're spending millions of dollars every month to build YouTube videos.
No, and I see. I mean, the lifestyle, like you said, your entertainment. You're selling the lifestyle. You mentioned, you know, you like fishing, you like being on the boat, but it's also something that it's good entertainment. It draws people. You know, people,
I mean,
want to see that kind of stuff.
If I just traded and then I sat in my basement all day and like did nothing, I think people would be like, it's not really like. I think people look at it like, damn, he's living his dream life, you know, like I'm able to do what I want to do every day. I go fishing, I get to live in Florida, I get to do all this cool stuff. And that's what I've always like wanted to do. And I think I tell people at the end of the day, like it don't matter how much money you make, but if you can't like enjoy life, you don't have experiences, you don't have the right people around you, like it won't really matter. Like you'll still be miserable. If you can't be happy poor, you won't be happy rich.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, money just amplifies what you are.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. Well, Patrick, listen, man, thanks for coming by.
Awesome.
Good seeing you. Hope we do another boat. And
yeah, I'll be back in 6 months for the next one.
Yeah,
we'll do this video again.
Take care.